Hello, Guardians, coming to you from the last city on Earth. It's the Guardian Lounge. I'm your host and Titan enthusiast, Krissa, otherwise known as Lady Hawkmoon, and I've brought some friends with me to talk about the Red War and our thoughts on it. Before we get started, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hey, it's Amber. I am Hunter Main.
Hey everyone, it's Lady Ilaros, Warlock Main.
Hello there, this is Minnie. I'm Hunter Main.
Hey y'all, I'm Sir Slips, professional Sunbreaker, but legally distinct version of the Sunbreaker. So I can copyright it myself, you know.
Legally distinct, good.
We did kind of all die except me.
It's true. So, just for some background, the Red War is the start of the D2 campaign, and it's where all of us lost our light.
Ooh.
And the Cabal took over the last city, and a lot of bad
PTSD.
things happened. So, we're going to start off with where were you guys during the initial attack? I mean, the story, it starts with us flying in. We just came off of some, I guess, random mission, and we're coming back in when everything just blows up in our face. So is that the story you go with, or were you somewhere else when it happened?
I tend to agree with the fact that we're just flying in. Like you just work's done for the day. Let's go back and everything's gone to pot.
I had always thought that we were coming back because with the armor we had, I thought maybe this is canon. We were coming back for some sort of celebration because it was some sort of dress armor, which is why it wasn't that great during the beginning. But I was definitely canon coming back from a mission, seeing what happened, and my ghost is letting me fly fast. He has to be really, really scared if he's telling me to fly fast, because that's all he does is carpet me about, you're going too fast, you're going too fast. Okay, Dad.
Yeah, he is. Ghost is always a pain in the butt. I feel like that's the thing is I've been trying to figure out if like my headcanon is any different from the base game beyond, at least at the beginning, but I think at the beginning it'd be about the same. That it'd be like, thing happened that's unimportant now because the entire tower is being attacked.
True. What about you, Amber?
I would say that, based on my character and me as a person, I probably would have already been in the city, like helping, like, because my previous canon was that I, helped with kids and stuff. I feel like I would have, if I had come in and landed, I would have gone straight for the kids. I've not already been with them.
Yeah, I sort of do the same thing. I don't see myself as flying in. I see my Titan as someone who was with the other Sunbreakers. I believe they were off on some close by mission when they were recalled. And so that's most likely what happened is she came back and everything was terrible and was in the city instead of with the Vanguard. My Titan's never been a big fan of the Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wouldn't go back to it. And so most of us seem to follow the storyline. How did your Titan, how did your Guardian react to the attack on the tower? How did they react to their loss of light? What were their thoughts, and how did they feel having that happen to them?
It's one of the weirder experiences for the game. It's like, I feel like we didn't really get to experience that for too long, at least in our perspective as a player. But our characters definitely were that without like that whole area where that really, really cool song that was written for that scene
Journey
is from. Yeah, Journey.
Mhm.
That is supposed to be, I think, weeks long. Just
Yeah.
us wandering throughout the dead zone.
Was it weeks or months?
No,
Might
it
have
definitely
been.
was. It definitely wasn't months.
No,
It
it
was
was weeks.
Yeah,
It was
I
weeks.
think it was at least a couple of days to maybe a week or two.
But that was a long 2 weeks, because you're just I know in my head canon, it's part of you, like the ability to, as a warlock, smack something with a void and have it go away, or be able to. I don't worry that this Cabal War Dog is chewing the crap out of me because ghosts will bring me back. You can't do that anymore, and to me it was just this. And even playing the game, it was this mind shift of you have to be careful, and you don't have all of these powers, and was a huge adjustment because it's part of you after as long as you've been doing what we've been doing.
Yeah, the biggest, I think the thing for me though was that I wish we'd gotten to play as that more. Granted,
Yeah.
more people probably just wanted to play Destiny, but
Yeah.
I was really interested with the whole, we don't have powers, we got to go fix things. Which, I don't know. I feel like that would have been interesting, but then a lot of people probably would have been like, this is boring and a really uninteresting campaign.
Yeah,
if we
like
didn't get to be Destiny.
Go on.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say maybe they did like a extra mission or two where like you didn't have your light.
Yeah. Where you didn't have your light and you have to be. It's entirely a darkness zone.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
I mean, that's basically what it was, though, when we didn't, even during the couple missions when we didn't have our light. Because I know, gameplay and story segregation. I know as a player, I did, especially the first time doing it, I got my butt kicked a couple times because it was, I can do this! I cannot do this! Your
Where's
light
my
has
chunk
faded.
gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's my go? Your light has faded.
Oh wait, yeah, there it is. Yeah, that.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
I think with my Guardian personally, they were like, well, like as with a lot of Guardians, they were just like devastated. Like, imagine it. Obviously, when we were playing that mission, we were evidently more than likely hallucinating to a point.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, we're like, the best sort of comparison I can think of is like when you go cold turkey from something. Like you feel the absence of it more so than you would at any other point.
Interesting.
No, that makes total sense.
So imagine you trying to just walk through the mountains, and you just feel this emptiness inside.
Yeah, interesting. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Yeah, it'll have an adverse effect on you mentally moving forward, knowing that this could be taken away again.
Or
Could
at the
happen
time,
all
you
over
might be
again.
like,
I mean, am I going to be like this forever?
Yeah. Is this
Yeah.
gonna be forever?
Am I mortal after being a god-slaying machine for 3.5 years or whatever?
Yeah. For me, one thing that I was always concerned about that obviously would never really be explained because it's just like you gotta kind of do movie magic a bit there. But after hearing about the Drifter and how he died of hunger
Oh,
as a guardian
mm-hmm.
and came back and now is just perpetually hungry, I really hope we found food.
War dogs. Yeah, war dogs are. I found war dogs were delicious when roasted over an open flame on a spit.
You also crossed a camp at one point that you could
Yeah,
have
so at one point we came across a camp, so they probably had some kind of
rations.
preserves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think food was a problem, and we were in the mountains, so you could melt. I like survive, having watched lots of survival things on Discovery.
Man.
I think food and water we had handled.
Lone Cosmodrome.
Do you think your guardian would know those kinds of survival skills?
Oh, Christ, no.
I mean, I think it's pretty. Even I would probably be able to figure out war dog meat and melt snow for water. I mean, I feel like hunger and thirst are base enough human, or, well, in my case, human needs that, okay, I'm thirsty. I know I need to drink. And I have a working knowledge that snow is going to melt in the water, I can drink the water. Oh, Jockey!
Oh, doggo. Beautiful boy.
And do you think that your guardians automatically left the tower right after the attack? Or did they stay a little bit?
No,
I shouldn't say after the attack. After you got kicked off.
I was gonna say I got kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have a choice about leaving the tower because we kind of got kicked. And
Like- Go on.
I was gonna say, I think that no light, beat up, ghost looking all sick. I'm sorry, sad ghost with droopy points was like the most pathetic thing ever. And I
Guardian, something's wrong.
just the way they drew him with those little
I can't
points
do
drooping
this.
was so cute. I think my guardian is smart enough to know this is not a tenable position. I mean, we've been doing tactics and fighting and battlefield for so long. It's like, this is completely not a tenable position. I need to get out of the city. There's no way I can hide from the Cabal in the city.
Yeah, like sound retreat.
Yeah.
And what about you, Amber? Since your guardian was most likely not on the ship and kicked off of it, you would have been with the kids. Did
Yeah.
you stay long after your light was gone?
Yes. I mean, who would have protected the kids in that instance? You know? Is my life more important than the future generation? I think as a person, I would be more likely to stay and help the kids, try to help them, find food and water and keep them safe and hidden until everything kind of passed over. So that entire time I would have been out without my light until all the guardians got their light back. Otto, stop it.
So you never went to the farm then? You would have stayed in the last city trying to hide everybody?
Yeah, it would have not been very fun. But imagine getting all of those kids to the farm. That would never have
not
happened.
been very fun.
But I could totally see you would have gotten all the kids to the farm.
I don't know. I feel like it depends on how far away the farm actually is from the city.
And we didn't know it existed before we followed a bird through the mountains.
Right. So imagine getting a whole group of kids there. I mean, I feel like, I don't think it would have been possible.
Well, we did do that one mission though was it I can't even remember if it was before or after I should have replayed the
That
campaign.
was the one. I think you're thinking of the one right before we went to Titan, where we
Yeah.
sent out the big rallying cry to the farm.
Right. Yeah. So maybe you would have found out about the farm from that.
I mean, even if I found out about it, I just think logistically speaking, getting a whole bunch of kids, to gather together and make the trek to the farm would have been not impossible, but maybe
Difficult.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be
It would be hard.
yes. Can't
Very
speak.
hard.
So you probably would have shored up somewhere.
I feel like that would have been the safest option for the kids, is to just kind of hide. And I feel like kids are, not quite as noticeable as adults. Like women and children kind of get passed over because they kind of can't, defend themselves, in a war kind of thing. So we
And I'm
might
sure there
have
would
got.
have been areas that are not Cabal infested, because when we get into the last cutscene, you see that Hawthorne and a group of guardians can just sneak up on like a very tall building and kill, I don't remember how many Cabal. It was maybe 3.
Yeah, because they were interested more in the traveler than they were in
The city itself.
the city itself. Yeah. So I feel like it would have been safer to just keep them there than try to, go out in the open with a whole bunch of kids that can't defend themselves. It would have taken a whole bunch of adults to do that.
Yeah, at least 2 adults for a group of kids to make it through the mountains.
And we did have to, we didn't, when we found Hawthorne and her group, we did have to fly from wherever she found us to the farm. So yeah, what are you going to fly these kids on?
Exactly.
All right. So that means that there were probably still, and there might have been other guardians that were still in the last city that couldn't make it out in time.
Oh, probably, yeah. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
the Cabal were doing a complete sweep and eradicated at least of any Guardians because they are a warring race. Their whole literal deal is war.
Yeah, they have, tactics and war down to pretty much a science, and they would have done a terrific sweep and clear of the whole city.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that means the rest of you guys, you did make it to the farm before the Vanguard sort of came back together.
I would assume so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's following the story. When you get to the farm, I think it's just Shax and Hawthorne and Tyra.
Yeah.
We're all
Seeing
there.
Tyra made me, I felt so bad. I was like, Tyra, you don't remember me because you lost your light.
I mean, no, she doesn't remember you because not everyone played Rise of Iron.
I know that. I do.
She doesn't remember you because she's got bad memory. Like,
She's also meeting a lot of people at this time. That can't be great for.
Grandma Cryptarch is my favorite Cryptarch.
She's
Yeah,
the
so
best Cryptarch. Why the hell is what's his name?
Rahul.
Yeah, why did we keep Rahul? Why couldn't we just bring Tyra with us?
Because she wanted.
oh,
because
you're
she's
all
getting
like
on.
assigned.
She's getting on a bit, and the farm is somewhere
Fair.
nice for her to just, relax.
We can't Uber her back ourselves. Oh my
No.
All I
no.
could. We sent her to a nice farm upstate.
Literally that. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
basically.
You know what that's a euphemism
Oh,
for,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So, going to the farm and seeing that the Vanguard isn't a cohesive unit any longer, did that affect your Guardian's perception of the Vanguard?
At this point, no. Because for me, at this point, I didn't hate the Vanguard yet.
I think that's when I started it to feel like the Vanguard isn't the end all be all of leadership, because they wouldn't have known about the farm either. And so for them to be there would have actually probably been weird, but being able to go out and Zavala giving up, that's when I really started to be like, if you're supposed to be a leader and you're supposed to be the leader of the we are the wall, we are the first line defenders, and you're sitting here going, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you're a leader. Go lead.
Yeah, exactly. Like you are like, there's the Vanguard, but everybody seems to defer to Zavala as kind of leader of the Vanguard. And you're like, that's when I think I finally said, you guys aren't great.
Well, keep in mind that up until this point, there wasn't very many consequences for having this much bravery and, I don't know what word to say. But the point is that if you go your whole life not having any consequences to making rash decisions and just going out there and fighting, they couldn't die. They just got brought back and brought back and brought back. But as soon as it came to the point where if they died, they weren't coming back, that really shows what kind of person you are when you have to actually put your life on the line. Because before they weren't putting anything on the line to do this. And then now they're having to put everything on the line to save other people. And they're having to ask themselves, is my life more important than their life? And the answer should have been no, but it kind of ended up being that they felt that they should live over other people. And I think that's maybe why people stopped liking them.
Well, it's Cade didn't. I mean, Zavala. That Cade was ready to go put a bullet, and that's what he was messing with Vex Tech, because that was his, and he figured he was going to die, but if he could put a bullet in Gull's face, it was worth it.
Yeah,
But
Cade
Zavala
was the
didn't.
only one.
Yeah, Cade. I think that's why everybody likes Cade so much, because he was the only one that said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go do the thing because it's what I'm supposed to do."
I would like to shout out to my boy Shax, who never ran away.
Oh no,
Shax never
Shax is
runs away.
amazing. Shax. I feel like Amber was there with Shax. Like Shax was there with Amber, like trying to like help people. I feel like Shax and Amber were down there with the children.
Using Ray's letter to just kill everything.
Yeah.
The bigger problem to me still is, why was the Crucible a thing?
Well, was Shax at the farm, or was it
He
just?
was.
Because I couldn't remember if it was just our site at the farm.
It was Shax, and he brought some bots with him.
Yeah,
our site
building them, I think.
Yeah, our site's the frame that is like his right hand man.
I don't remember if our site specifically was there, but I do remember that he had frames with him.
Yeah,
Amber, you have this. You can take care of the children. I have to go train people.
I want to train the children.
Actually, he probably would.
He'd be super into that.
He would just. I can just see him just stood there with his arms crossed, just staring at them, laughing at the fact they're just full on whacking each other with like play swords and that.
Isn't there a lore card about that?
About what he did?
No, about like somebody like getting Shax to have to go like teach kids how to play dodgeball and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Is that a ghost story?
I think it's a ghost story.
Okay.
It's really funny.
Do you think it'd be Cade, like he makes a bet or something? Because Cade makes so many bets.
I think it was. I actually think it was a bet. But yeah, I can see, because I know he was very much at the very beginning helping this, making sure that he said, here's a gun, go kill things. I'll take care of these people.
So what
and
I'm
then
trying to
uses
remember,
heightened strength to just shove that door right open.
Right.
Yep. What I'm trying to remember is, what was Ikora doing on Io?
She was trying to get our light back.
Yeah, I think because that's the last place the travel. Yeah, she went to the last place the traveler touched to look for before coming to Earth. To look for, I think, clues to get her light back, or clues to help. So, I mean, she was doing the warlock thing and using her brain.
And if you remember the one mission where Asher's trying to make artificial light.
Yes.
So they were trying to find a way to combat the Cabal with artificial light and finding more light from the Traveler.
Yeah, she was at least she was trying to do something. Cade was trying to do something.
Zavala was not.
Yeah, Zavala was on Titan going.
At some
point,
we're
boned. Yeah, we're boned. That's it. Even when you get there, he's like, "But we have our," he was like, "We have our light back, but you're the only one. Are you gonna fight a war by yourself?"
Yes.
Yeah, actually, we are, because we killed Axis, and we killed Atheon, and we killed Oryx, and we killed Crota, and yes,
we killed everything.
Beautiful.
Oh man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that my Titan didn't actually go to the farm. She was with the fallen Sunbreakers, probably trying to combat the Cabal, keep them away from everyone else. And then when she did make it out of there eventually, didn't go to the farm, but did hear stories, and has probably lost all faith in Zavala as a leader. Just giving up like that. Though she's always looked up to Ikora, and Kate's always been like a annoying leader that she respects. So that didn't change anything, but Zavala giving up like that after so many speeches he's made about we're the last line of defense, we're the wall, we have to protect the people, it would have completely destroyed her faith in Zavala as a leader.
Like I said, it's easy to make promises when there's no consequences
Mm-hmm.
to your failure.
I just like the idea of Cade being like, well, you know what? He's kind of a moron, but I respect his hustle and his tenacity.
Yeah.
Even in the
That's
face
exactly what
of
it is.
definitely being dead.
Yes.
Hawthorne is the best Vanguard leader we've ever had.
Oh
Bar
yeah.
none.
But I think that's what, if you think about in real life, the people that choose to join the military and take up that mantle for whatever country they're fighting for, that's the agreement that they make, that if they get deployed to wherever, that they are putting their lives on the line for the people back home.
And even now in the States, teachers do the same thing.
Oh gosh, yes. Don't get me started.
It's a very dangerous job now.
It is. Yes, it is.
So respect to you, lady.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I know that, and it's scary to know that that could happen. And so I think, if you're going to, style yourself as the leader of this group of people where that's, we are the defense, blah, blah, blah. That's a decision that's, I don't know. It's just like, it's that I equate it to, because I know in real life, I have a lot of friends who are in or have worked with the military, and that's a decision that they make. When you take that oath, you're saying that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the thing.
So have you taken Taekwondo or karate or Kung Fu?
What do you mean?
Well,
Oh,
you gotta learn self-defense too, right? Just in case.
I'll tell you offline what they do.
Oh, okay. No, I was
Yep.
just excited. We have a black belt in the call, so I figured it might be worth trying to get in some stuff. It's true.
I do. I am. But
Our esteemed
that's
host
beside the point.
Yes.
can defend us against ninjas.
I don't think I can do that against ninjas, but sure.
If they're invading a school, I would assume so.
Sure.
Sure.
I'll throw
if it was-
myself at them.
Those are probably at best novice ninjas.
But yeah, I mean, we as Guardian, that's when you come to at the beginning of Destiny 1, when you come to the city and you talk to the speaker,
Oh yeah, that guy.
that's when you're kind of taking that oath of I'm going to be, because how many for every Guardian that says, yes, I will take up the mantle, I will defend the people, I will defend this city. How many new resurrected Guardians have come to the speaker has done this, and the new resurrected Guardians has gone, dude, I'm immortal. See ya.
Probably not that many.
Probably like most of them.
Man, I wish. Are
I
we
don't
the
think that could
chumps?
happen to me.
Are we the chumps?
Ooh,
Maybe.
that brings up a side point.
I don't know.
Dead speaker.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's
Eee.
important, I guess.
I don't know. I know that in the original canon, my Titan does not trust the speaker. My Titan has like authority figure issues. And the speaker is
Yeah.
the biggest authority.
See, me does not like the speaker at all. Just because it's like he feels like a televangelist.
He does.
He is.
He is basically the Traveler's televangelist.
He's got
Which-
a TV show.
Kind of helped him and helped us in the long run. At least with Gaul. But other than that, no, thank you.
I think after that first initial, your ghost brings you to the speaker kind of gives you the 411, you don't really have that much contact with him in game. Even you have your point of contact at the tower is your vanguard, whichever class you are. That's who you talk to all of them because they all give you quests, but mostly you talk to Kate or Ikora or Zavala standing at the table. So the speaker, this is the speaker. He's kind of in charge, but it'd be again, you talk to your commanding officer. You don't talk to the commander in chief.
It's unfortunate.
Only if you want to go get a class mark.
Yeah, that's from is that like year 1 power?
Well, he had the special ones.
Ooh.
That was before my time,
He
so
had, collectible ones.
Yeah, the Sunbreaker mark was his fault.
I
That is a
think
good
he
mark.
also he had my favorite, but I cannot remember the name of it. But yeah, that was his only job. He sold you marks, and then eventually you could exchange. What was it?
Some stuff that didn't matter from year 1 into
Yep.
stuff that did matter for year 2 and 3.
Stuff that didn't matter later on, anyways.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out. So the thing with the Vanguard for me though, in hindsight, hold on. I knocked stuff over. We'll pretend that didn't happen and cut that again.
Pick your gun up off the floor, Guardian.
That's not a gun.
Trying to be in
So-
character.
So about the Vanguard for me though is, I guess as much as I'm kind of was more mellow during the Red War, beyond being like, oh come on blue guy, you can do this. I'd be like, all right Sloan, are we doing this now? Are you and I gonna fix this? I was like, do you get to have a character? Oh no, okay. Sloan seems cool, but
I like
she doesn't
Sloan
have any
too.
personality, so not her fault. Anyways, beyond everything, all the planet people are mostly okay. We'll talk about Asher maybe some other time. I might later, I don't know. But Zavala specifically, he shows the signs of what I was more adamant about in Warmind and have had a lot of problems with since, is that Zavala is all bark no bite as of late.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that very concretely in the Red War. As soon as he gets into one major or at least moderate issue with the Hive, they're just on Titan and that's it. It's like, you guys could just not be here, could go to I don't know,
The farm.
Europa.
go to somewhere else. Yeah, I don't know why they're just okay, well this place sucks, let's go find another place.
And he's the
Great.
one who's adamant that he can't do anything without the rest of his fire team.
Yep. I mean, he's right. He's objectively correct in that statement. At least he's a little
He's on
self-aware.
Titan. He could punch something. We have powers of punch.
Yeah, but he doesn't. We're the only ones with light at that point.
Yeah.
I know, but you
And-
could still punch something.
No, but yeah.
You don't need a magic power.
No,
I've done
that's
it
you
before.
don't. The warlocks had to learn that one the hard way.
Yes. Yes,
Slap
we
stuff
did.
without-
Yes.
You guys had to
Slap, slap,
you guys actually punched people.
I know. It was like slap, 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 slap. Wait, that.
I was
fist,
so happy.
What's a
fist.
fist?
Oh, that's how they do it.
I was so happy. You have no idea. When I had to punch something that was a warlock, I was like, oh no. I'm going to lose this in 30 minutes and I'm going to be so upset.
Which I don't understand the hunter one having to punch too, because they have a
Well,
knife.
they had a knife.
That's the difference. Oh, they did? I
I think
forgot.
they had a knife. They had a little shiv, probably.
Whether you did in game, I think in every hunter's headcanon, I feel like you
You had a little
You
knife.
gotta have a knife, man.
Let's ask. Minnie, did you have a knife?
Yes.
He has something. Minnie has his collection of really expensive, fancy knives that aren't that much better, but they look nice.
It's like Minnie has
I
all
assume.
messed up armor, but this gorgeous knife that he's carrying around.
Oh yeah, no. If that knife disappears, so does he. I don't mean to headcanon for you, but I just kind of assume. I'm just going off of Hunter 101.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have
Were
this
your
knife
knives
from,
hidden in your cape?
What was
You
that?
still had a cape. Were your knives hidden in your cape?
Oh no,
No.
that doesn't seem safe.
Hunters have like Highlander space. Like if you ever watch like Highlander the TV series, they just kind of pull swords out of like nowhere trench coats. I feel like that's what a hunter's cape is.
It's a void where they store everything. It's their
Yes.
bag of
Back.
holding.
Mostly they're knives, though. Just lots of knives.
Which, Amber, did you also have a knife?
Yes.
There we
More
go.
than one.
It's a hunter consensus. They had knives. The rest of us were dumb.
Nah, we're just more practical about it.
We don't carry knives. How's that more practical?
I know.
I don't need it. I don't need it, so I'm not gonna carry it. That's wasted space.
I have fist.
I have fist.
And I'm just gonna overhear like I'm a warlock and I'm boned.
If my fist is like the force of a mallet, I
You
think
can hit stuff
I'll
with
go
the
with
book.
I'll go with the blunt trauma.
No.
And then yeah, you could use the book. It'll hurt.
Whap whap.
Get a phone book. Those things don't leave any
Oh no!
scars.
Have you seen a? I've seen some pretty. I have a textbook that I could probably hurt someone with.
Oh yeah, I would hope so.
I have a
I'd
few
be disappointed
textbooks.
if you couldn't.
I have some that I could hurt somebody with. So yeah, I feel like I whacked the cabal on the face with a book.
Good stuff. I've whacked Zavala with that book too. Oh my god.
Literally throw the book at him.
We've hinted at it because I don't want to spend 2 days talking about it, but I feel like this is kind of the shared thing of a lot of the community, and I'm sure a little of it is. I think all of why I hate Zavala has spawned from the Red War, because he is completely realized his own mortality, and I think he got kind of just shocked by it, and even though he gained his light back, he is now aware of the fact that he is not invincible. He may not feel comfortable being immortal again because he may not be like aware of. He probably thinks it's going to go away again very easily.
Well, I
Or
mean,
it could.
go ahead.
Or it could, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a valid common reaction to trauma, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad for him, but at the same time, we're in this position. You need to say, I'm going to step down as the Titan Vanguard and deal with my personal issues, and Sloan could do it.
Yeah,
Sloan could.
I could do it.
Shax could.
Shax will never
wouldn't
leave.
do it.
Shax would never leave the Crucible.
Oh yeah, he would
could
never
do
want
both.
to.
He's
Dual
talented enough.
No,
Which-
he has to put all of his energy into the Crucible. I think that is like his one. I
It's
feel
his
like that is his one great joy. I think if anybody were to be like his second, it would be Sloan.
Yeah, fair.
That brings up another point, which I'm sure that Zavala still has that trauma. What about your guardians? Do they have any? How are they dealing with it post Red War? Are they still afraid of losing their light? Has it affected them at all? Or are they back to, got it back, gonna go bash my head into something?
It depends a little bit, because I feel like my team as a whole is probably fine, but individually, I don't know about that one. But the bigger issue, I think, would be not like being more careful, but being more self-aware of problems we start, and being, well, if we start this if we have an issue with this, what can we do? If things go real south, how much can we pull this one back out of our butts? With the hunt of Aldrin Sov notwithstanding, because that was necessary.
That was a
100%.
personal vendetta. That was that was nothing to do. That was nothing to do with like I hate to say it, but Zavala was right. The Guardians are not we're not a conquering army, and invading the reef was the wrong move for that.
Doesn't matter.
But we can, rogue actions. That's I think the point where I, as a guardian, basically, realized I had more agency. But in response to the actual question, I think I'm more aware of what it's like to be on the other side. I think I have a greater respect for not only like Hawthorne and Devram and people who do this without light, like the village, like the tower militia and whatnot, but realizing that now I feel like I can I have a greater respect for the people that I'm helping. It's like, oh, I've been in your shoes and I know how important my job is and how much of a gift this really is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
It helps you understand. Once you've lost something, you understand its greater value.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think a lot of it, we all got different perspectives from it. And for me, at least for me, it is a little bit of that, but also a bit of the realizing that we've got to be stronger, because we've got to keep things going, because we know stuff's going down soon.
Yes, that too.
There's more coming, and it's going to be worse than Gaul, and we have to be ready.
Yeah.
And we have to be ready without relying on our light. I think
Yes.
that's something that we all had to learn, was that we were relying on our light too much to get us through things when we should have been relying more on the actual physical strength of our body and the aim of our gun and the ability to get through a mission without having to rely on being revived every time we die. And just really understanding that, we got really, we're very lucky that we have this ability to revive ourselves, but we need to understand that that's not always going to be the case. And we need to be more prepared than we were for the Red War, and not rely on Guardians so much, because I think that's maybe where everything kind of hit the fan, was that we just expected that we would always have Guardians who could just keep reviving and keep going, and keep going, and then all of a sudden they can't. Now what do? We have nothing in place,
Mm-hmm.
Even, and then even thinking about what happened to Cade, realizing that our ghosts aren't invincible either.
We need ghosts.
But, realizing that, we've all now experienced what happens when you don't have a light. And then, seeing what happened to Cade, that's a stark reminder that it's not as hard as you think to lose at least the revivability again.
Well, that was a special bullet.
But what one person does, what one person does, it's now been proven that it's possible.
Right.
And once something's been proven possible, maybe the Fallen or other races say, okay, well, the Scorn were able to do this, we can do it too, and I bet we can do it better.
I bet it'd be the Vex.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100 No, absolutely 100%. The Vex are looking at that going, okay, we can figure this out.
And they have
Start
all the time in the
simulation.
world to figure it out.
Exactly.
Enter simulation.
Oh no.
That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we know, and whether or not the rest of the solar system realizes it, we know as Guardians that stuff's going to hit the fan. RSN. And we have to be the front line. You're right, and you're right. We can't rely on our light to do it.
And Minnie, you said before that your guardian drank. Does he drink more now? Or the same
Not
amount?
same amount, but the whole loss of light and power really more gave way to a thirst for power.
I
Like
get
it was
that.
clear that the power we had was not enough. So let's go get more power. Let's be. Let's. I'm trying to think of a good parallel. Did any of you ever played Devil May Cry?
Not
A
for a
little?
really long time.
A little bit.
You know
Nope.
Virgil?
No, I don't remember.
You know, of Virgil.
Yes.
How his defining existence is literally just like constantly a thirst for power.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
Yeah,
about right.
something along those sort of lines
Oof.
is what my guardian like took away from the whole loss. That's why he mainly sided with the Drifter in the whole mini civil war we had with Season of the Drifter. Was like, he's offering more power. I need more power.
That's so true. He is offering more power.
Like the Vanguard, clearly they ain't. Well, they're not.
They
They're
didn't cut
nothing.
it.
Yeah, they ain't cutting it anymore. It's like, right, I need power. He's offering power. Don't care what it takes. Do it.
You keep saying more power, and it reminds me of the Emperor from Star Wars. All the power.
No, it's unlimited power.
So angry.
That's what happens when Minnie gets the warlock abilities
Mhm.
unlocked on his hunter. And that makes you make a good point as well. Once you've lost everything, there are different ways that you can come back from it. Whether it's okay, well, I've got to get more. I didn't have enough to begin with, or even, oh well, because we were in the tower, and the big floaty orb man was behind us. These Cabal singled us out, and they're going to keep doing that. How do we keep everyone safe? Or even we did have a defense system up. Ikora's like checking the scanners in the first cutscene, and she says, I don't see anything. It was completely a surprise.
Yeah, it's completely out of like the blue. Like just all of a sudden, pop. Hi.
Yeah.
Cabal are here. Knock knock.
But
It's like that. Now I can think of is that first like the first like it was probably the first video for Destiny 1 with the Guardians. Knock knock. Gallarhorn. Boom. I think it was like the intro video or something. It is exactly what what we did to the Hive in that video is exactly what the Cabal did to us.
Just go in and did a finisher to us by kicking us off of a ship.
Yes.
now, what would you say would be the biggest issue that you think will be lingering from the Red War? Now I'm asking the questions.
I think it would be the introduction of Callus.
Oof.
Mhm.
Callus
Oh,
is the
yeah.
biggest problem because we don't know what he's actually doing.
He
He's
thinks we
giving
work
us
for him.
stuff.
So he thinks we're his guard. Every time he says that, I'm like, I am not your guardian. I am at this point. I am no one's guardian.
Prefers to not be his.
Yeah,
Because the
I'm
Red
not.
Legion it was disbanded, and he had us kill the leader who took over for Gaul. So the Red Legion isn't a problem anymore. But Callus is still here. He hasn't left. He's
Gross.
just chilling with us and waiting for us to become his shadow.
Grow thick from strength.
I'm scared. I'm a little concerned of Callus.
Oh, I'm very concerned about Callus. But we don't even know if where the actual Callus is in this. If he is in this giant maw, this giant bugle chip.
I'd be confused if he wasn't there.
I'm sure he is. I said where he is, but where he. I mean, I feel like the Leviathan is like
It's
Dreadnought level huge.
Because you see Gowron. He is massive. And there's still ceiling above him.
Yeah.
There's a statue of Callus that is larger than him that you have to climb down to get to him.
No, I know that the Leviathan is massive.
And you can wear his hat like armor.
do not want to wear the sad hat. Actually, I do, because I need to finish the sad hat. But yeah, no, we have to do something about Callus. I just don't know what.
Well, it's hard to decipher anything about him because in the lore, I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, so this is just my theory that he's also looked into the darkness, into the
Oh,
void,
he
the same
has.
one that Oryx did.
I think that is exactly what my read on it always has been. He looked into the void and saw that we're boned, and that's when he basically said, "You know what? We're boned, so let's just have a heck of a good time on the way out."
Pleasure cruise.
No, and that's what. And then the cabal that still wanted to be militaristic all flocked to Gaul, because that's like, this is not what we want. We are the cabal. We are conquerors. Blah blah blah. You know, this emperor who's like, yeah, it's not gonna matter. So let's just party like it's 1999. And I think I was always under the impression that that's what caused the schism in the cabal.
I think it was because he also stole the ship he's on. Stole the Leviathan or found it. I forget which
I
one.
thought it was a prison ship for. I thought it was the when the midnight coup, when Gaul took over, they put all the loyalists and Callus on the Leviathan and launched it into space.
Yeah, I could see that. I was just guessing. I haven't read up on my Callus lore in a little bit.
I watched a lot of My Name is Bife.
Yes, he's great at lore.
So,
but yeah, that'd be the biggest concern that I see coming from the Red War. Trying to think of anything else that came directly from it. 'Cause Callus shows up. That's your raid. He shows up after he's like, "Thank you for killing that guy. Here you go. Kill more guys. You're good at it."
I mean, he's not wrong. We are pretty good at killing things.
Yeah. Anybody else have any issues that they think come up from the Red War?
I'm concerned about just everything in general, obviously, but specifically, I don't like that our old tower is gone, because the new tower still isn't as cool.
I wonder what effect, and maybe Amber would have the answer to this. What effect does it have, on the people of the city that the women, men and women and children were trying to protect, that the guardians who, say they're going to protect us were unable to do it? Is that something else that could happen again?
I think there was probably a loss of confidence in the guardians, because before it was, they were, we were invincible. I mean, even if we died, we'd just come back and come back and come back. And now they realize that we can be defeated. And maybe there are some people that would just give up and just be like, you know what, we're just going to all die. But I think that there were probably some people that took some initiative and realized that just because I'm not a guardian and I don't have any light doesn't mean that I can't help defend this place and I can't defend myself, and maybe took up the initiative to, teach themselves how to fight and how to shoot and how to protect the people that they love, because they can't rely on the guardian for everything. They need to be able to rely on themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's a pretty good point.
They probably ended up joining Hawthorne's militia.
I'm sure there were a lot of them, yeah. And maybe just not even joining the militia, but just being able to arm themselves and defend themselves just in their own home would be a good start.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that they even changed people that they heralded or lauded over the rest, because they probably have favorite guardians from the Crucible, and then you see them lose their light, and all of a sudden, well, they're not cool anymore.
That's all it was about, wasn't it?
And it all comes back to this there was a lack of repercussions for actions taken by guardians because they couldn't die, or it was very, very hard to kill them. And now they realize that there are repercussions, and maybe that will, kind of help them gain a better voice and everything, because they realize that they're not the end all be all. They're people just like everyone else. They just have a little bit of extra power, you know, when they do have the extra power. That doesn't make them better, it just makes them lucky.
I'd be interested in seeing if it does change the composition of the consensus, which, for anybody who doesn't know, is the governing body over the last city. The consensus, and then the speaker, which he's dead, so it definitely changed a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I feel like in the current game state, the factions really are non-entities at the
Try
moment.
not to fall off the tower.
And the Vanguard, it's so literally Ikora and Zavala are holding this together by sheer force of will. And I just wonder when stuff does start to go down, assumingly in Destiny 3, what's going to happen to the city and the people we're protecting when things break down again.
Yeah, because the Cabal, took a swing at us. Not who's to say that any other race is not going to just rock up at our front door and be like, "Hi."
Exactly.
Mhm.
Or these mysterious triangles of darkness that are coming.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. We'll be fine.
No one cares about the triangles.
Nope.
Warlocks care.
And that is an excellent point to end on. Warlocks care. Well, the sweeper bots are coming in to clean up. So we're going to head out of here. Thank you, everybody, for sitting down with me. Where can everybody find you guys?
You can find me on PlayStation on my username, AMD Cranberry. I'm usually playing, if I'm not playing Destiny, I'm playing something else. Right now, I'm playing Uncharted. You can come hang with me and do that if you want.
I have been streaming a lot of Minecraft and retro games on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Lady Ilaros. If you want to find out when I'm going to stream, you can either follow my Twitter at Lady Ilaros or my Facebook at Lady Ilaros Gaming.
If you're looking for a person who pretends to be a professional on the internet who talks about Magic the Gathering, well, by God, do I got some of that for you. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all Sir Slips. Check it out. I'm sometimes funny.
Same goes for me as well. Literally everywhere I go by miniwak online. So find me, you might see something good. Maybe. I can't promise that.
And you can find me everywhere as Lady Hawkmoon. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week when we discuss something else. Try not to fall off the tower while we're gone.